Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Phyllis.
Hello. How
That's
are you?
Good
Yeah.
morning.
Hello, everybody.
Dan.
Good morning.
Hi.
Dan.
Phyllis, you look great.
Oh, you always say that makes me feel better. Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah.
It's so good to see both of your faces. It's lovely.
Hi.
Hi, Joan.
Hi, Phyllis. What is your
Ah.
background? It's so beautiful.
Oh, it's a winter scene of the moon over our street out here.
Yes,
You
the
know
nice.
how I love that.
Thank
I like
you.
the phone.
You look terrific. It's so good to see your face, Joan.
Thank you.
Ah.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Joan. It's wonderful that you're here with us. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. I'm excited to see what I'm going to talk about.
Spontaneity is everything.
It certainly is in my life. I try to prepare, and it's just not. I can't do the structure thing anymore.
I've told the story more than once that I have my talk all set and then I come up over the hill at the lake and the whole thing changes. And then I'm forced to get up and talk right off the top of my head. Yeah. Uh-huh.
There's something about the aliveness of that I so
There is.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Good.
I wish I was coming up over the hill in Duluth right now. I love that. That always just fills you up, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. My granddaughters and my daughter-in-law are up there this weekend. My granddaughter had to drive to Duluth to take her driver's test.
Oh, wow.
It was the only place in the state that had an opening.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
my God.
No offense, but I don't think I'd want to take a driver's test.
No.
Certainly not in the winter in Duluth. I had enough trouble when I lived up there. I ran into a police car once on an icy hill when I lived in Duluth. It's like too many memories.
She passed her test.
Oh, good.
So, yeah, that 17-year-old is just coming off, the clouds. I mean, she's just, she's thrilled.
Yeah, it adds a whole new level of concern for parents and grandparents.
Yeah, exactly. That whole adulting thing makes me a little nervous.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
You're just a baby.
Yeah, I have two 16-year-old grandchildren, twins, who are scheduled coming in the next couple months to take theirs.
Oh, wow.
They have a little more behind the wheel to do yet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So many hours behind the wheel, and I'm glad for that, but it's kind of intimidating when they're starting out.
Yeah. Well, they have to keep track of how many hours they've driven. So every time either one of them gets in the car, they keep track on their phone.
Oh,
It's amazing.
I remember my first time behind the wheel, and it's like, oh my God, I don't know that I want to be driving next to that person on the road. I just remember, 10 and 2, and then there's the side of the road, and there's the side of the road. So afraid you were going to hit something that you just, no.
Yeah.
I grew up in St. Paul, and my parents hired someone to do my behind the wheel after my classroom and formal stuff, because they didn't want to do the practice stuff with me.
Smart.
They hired someone who had a driving school to do that, and we had my test in Minneapolis, and my mother was just like, if you can drive and pass in Minneapolis, you can drive anywhere.
Is that true?
Yeah, I suppose that. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just they're two very different worlds. That's all.
Yeah. I took mine in Cambridge,
the other one is a very foreign country.
You what?
If you live in one, the other tends to be a very foreign country if you don't go back.
Yes. I used to have a divided family, aunts and cousins who only were in the St. Paul suburbs in St. Paul, and then our family was in the Minneapolis kind of area. And it felt like you had to get a passport to go there.
Yeah.
Yes. I took mine to Deer River, so it was a whole different story. I think about the contrast between taking it in the cities and taking it in Deer River, and black and white,
Yeah. I took mine in Cambridge, which is was a city of 2,500 at the time, and it was kind of like, you knew all the streets because you walked them all, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
different.
I would like to start, and I want to thank you all for being here. Welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. And I would like to give a little prayer of gratitude. And so,
Carol, can you move a little closer to the mic?
I'm gonna,
All right.
Can't hear you.
oh,
Can't
wow.
hear you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay,
Thank you.
just turned my speaker up. I guess that makes a difference. Joe. Okay. I just would like to say the following, that I do give thanks to Mother, Father, God for bringing us all together as we support each other in the knowing we are directed and supported through the love and power of God. And I would like to say, I want to thank Joan for being here with us today and for the message she will be giving us. I'm so looking forward to it. And so I would like to say the statement of intent next. And we are fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. And by using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church where we can worship the God of our own understanding, a place to experience joy and be uplifted, a place where we can gain strength and inspiration to share with all we meet throughout the week. We invite you to join us in the celebration of life, to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the company of kindred souls. And so with that, I would like to just go into announcements. Does there anybody want to announce anything, have anything they'd like to share? Anything coming up, to present anything? I guess not. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, good.
I would just like to ask for prayers of protection and courage as my grandson Nicola just started up the Appalachia Trail in
Oh.
Georgia. He's 21 years old. He's going by himself. And I just think it's crazy. Good luck to him.
And prayers. Thank you.
Prayers
Can
of
you hear
protection.
me? Can you hear me,
Yes.
Jill?
I can't see anybody. Whoop.
This is Jill talking.
Oh,
okay.
All right, Jill, we hear you, but we don't see you.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to ask for prayers for myself. I have a broken bone in my groin area, and I'm pretty much relegated to my bed and my wheelchair. So I hope to have prayers.
Absolutely, Jill.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Thanks for telling us.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also got a request yesterday, or an invitation yesterday, that the planet is joining in a common prayer for COVID release and thanking all of those who have served during the pandemic. So it's going to go on for 24 hours, which accumulates as 48 hours around the planet.
Good.
So all praying at the same time for the same purpose.
Yes, for COVID.
Is there a website to go to get involved with that, or?
I believe there is, but I didn't make note of it. I'm sorry. It is a common Christian prayer, but it's very inclusive. So if you go online to a 24-hour prayer to release COVID, I think you would connect with it.
Is it already in process, Phyllis, or what's
Yes,
the timeline?
yes, it started today.
Good. Prayers for COVID.
Thank you.
We all can join that. Yes. Good.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Are there any other requests from,
I have one.
okay,
My oldest sister fell and broke her clavicle and has had surgery on it now, but just prayers for healing for my sister Betsy
yes.
so that she can recuperate.
All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Sue. Is there
Thank
anyone
you.
else? Is there anyone else? Yes.
I have a request for Stress management, healing prayers, a lost kitty, and also lots of turmoil in a person's home situation, landlord situation. So, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else today? Yes.
My niece, am I unmuted? Yeah.
Yes.
My niece just left for the hospital to go have her baby, and just praying for good outcome and good energy flow and
Yes.
lots of love.
Yes, 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 yes. Lots of love, lots of love.
Okay.
Lots of love with the birth. Yes.
Are there any other requests at this time? Otherwise, we'll continue on. And so we have the Declaration of Principles here. I would like to say them at this time. We believe in infinite intelligence, and we believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute religion. And we affirm that the existence and identity of the individual continue after the change called death. And we believe in our universal connection in spirit, and that there is communication between the spiritual and physical worlds. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule: whatsoever you would that others should do unto you, do we also unto them. And we affirm the moral responsibility of individuals, and that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul hereafter. And we affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes contained in all sacred texts. And so I would like to ask everybody to mute, except Joan. Joan, yes, I look forward to your talk. Thank you.
So I'm on?
You are so on, lady. Yes.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm so excited to be here. I don't know if you remember, but I spoke in your beautiful little gathering place on September 2019. And I was very nervous to speak for some reason. First of all, probably because I was doing it at the request of my lovely friend Phyllis. So I didn't want to disappoint her, even though she wasn't there. But I have to tell you that and it's gonna make me cry. So this is good. I was met with such a wave of love and camaraderie and encouragement. Oh my gosh, by you all, that it definitely made an imprint on me. So I thank you for that. And thank you for asking me back again. And when Carol asked me for a title for this speech, I just put, I wonder. And the second half of that title might be what she's going to talk about, because as I said earlier, for some reason, I used to be somebody who used to write speeches, and I used to construct things try to construct them carefully, because I thought there was a right way and a wrong way to do it. And the right way was to be very up in my head and very much, just third dimensional about it all. And for some reason that has been taken away from me. It's like it's almost impossible for me to do anything but stay in wonder. I get excited, I think about things, I feel things, and then I wonder how it's going to come together. So you're going to be witness to see how it comes together. And right before I sat down, I picked up this little piece of paper that sits in my house. It's been sitting in my house for probably 3 years now. And to me, it speaks to the shift that is upon us right now, energetically. Sorry for the tears. Not really sorry, but this is written by a work expert, someone who was very highly regarded in his field. His name was Orison Swett Mardine. And he says, success is the child of drudgery and perseverance. Just feel into that for a moment. Success is the child of drudgery and perseverance. And I think that's where we've been. And I think that's the belief system that a lot of us have based our lives on. And this is what I've written on the other side of that card that stays with me all the time. And if it's backwards to you, I don't know. It says magic. And it's in sparkles, like a little child would do it. And that sits in front of me in various places of the house, just to remind me that this is part of what we're moving into, the field of magic, which I obviously don't mean like David Blaine or anything like that. I just mean we are always surrounded by magic. And in my life, that is kind of one of the distillations I've come to. I am by nature a distiller of information. I used to work in news and television news, and that is nothing but distillation. It's like taking a million points of information and distilling it down to one. And I think that's to our detriment sometimes, but that might be a story for another time. But when I distill the required action to shift our world to a better place, I distill it down to kindness. When I distill nature, to me, down to a single point, it has to do with diversity and radiance. When I distill a way through during these times of tremendous polarization, I distill it down to the word wonder. Wonder to me is one of those words that has just captured my imagination in especially the last couple of years, as we see the world becoming more black and white and right and wrong, and holding on to that pole of right or wrong and pointing at the other side with vehemence and anger and division. To me, it brings up a quote from the poet Rumi, which I have not got exactly memorized, so please forgive me if you know this quote by heart. But there is a field beyond right and wrong. I will meet you there. And to me, that's the wonder field. It's the field of wonder. It's the place where we can open our hearts to possibility as opposed to just belief and habit. And I hope you don't mind, I wrote something about wonder about 6 months ago, and I think it will just kind of set the tone. So if you don't mind, I'm going to read it to you. I've often said that magic is my favorite word, or sometimes serendipity, depending on the era or the mood. Sometimes it's freedom or balance or kindness. But for pure clicks on how many times it has crossed my lips, wonder has to be the winner. I wonder what the day will hold. I wonder how that beauty came to be. I wonder what makes someone else do what they do. I wonder why I feel so different. I wonder how some of our fellow humans came to be enemies. I wonder what comes next. Whew. I wonder how to be better today. I wonder how to deal with grief. I wonder how to be kind. I wonder how to hold on to the most authentic me. I wonder if I am on my path. I wonder why tortilla chips aren't considered a health food. I wonder how we can ignore the generosity of nature. I wonder how we can pay nature back. I wonder who I am to deserve all who I am surrounded by in this life. I wonder how we can be surrounded by so many iterations of perfection and not see that diversity is combined with unity to create that field of perfection. You might get the idea. I am a wanderer. And I think I'm just beginning to understand the beauty of wondering. Wonder is an open door in a culture that has designed all manner of closed doors. I am right and you are wrong is spray painted on all those shut doors. When doors shut, there is no considering another viewpoint or even a wholly new idea. Please move on. I have stopped considering what might also be true, and I am only dealing in old thought patterns for the foreseeable future. Thought patterns about life, people, government, religion, education, medical, business, purpose. You get the idea. Done and done. The air is no longer moving in front of shut doors. There's no need. Air brings life and movement and new. Wonder is an open door. No one is making you walk through it. You can stand on the front step and just feel the breeze. Imagine a possibility. Consider someone else's viewpoint, even the shut doors viewpoint, and start an open conversation with your biggest self. There is no space for argument, but only space for consideration. Wonder. What do I know for sure? What is possible? Where did that belief I hold so dearly come from? Is it mine? Do I know its truth for sure? What would the outcome be if I considered something else may be true? What if I let go of the red hot poles of angry thought and moved closer to the wonder, if only for this moment? Wonder is the unformed possibility of another way that holds love and kindness and maybe a sparkler or two. Wonder is tapping us on the shoulder as we sit, scraped and spent after playing tug of war to a dirty draw. It's asking us to look up from the rutted. Oops, hi. It's asking us.
I'll turn this thing on. Just a minute.
It's asking us to look up from the rutted dirt we have memorized in our inevitable future and to turn our eyes to the idea that there is something more. There's beauty, there's purpose, there's connectedness, there's wisdom, there's magic. There was a beautiful 80-something-year-old former first grade teacher who told me when I was doing a book signing once, she pulled me aside and we had this lovely conversation about her students and how she taught. And she told me with joy in her eyes that she used to instruct her students when they were finished with a pop quiz or a long test, she instructed them to put their pencils down and to dream. And I thought that was so beautiful. What a gift. She was essentially, in my mind, handing their authentic selves back to them for a few minutes in a system that only pretended to know who they were and where they wanted to go. She asked them to wonder about themselves and how they fit in the world. And when you have a few minutes, I invite you to put your pencils down and wander by that open door and dream so you can remember who you were. You can remember about wonder. You can remember about your childhood. We all knew it so intimately as children. It gave us the impulse to our becoming. That door is still open. I will leave the light on for you. So that is basically, I could be done right now. That's basically what I wanted to talk about, is the idea that we've lost the breeze of wonder in this world. We've decided that it not, and I don't want to include everybody in this. It's certainly, I don't want to make that broad brush, but you can look out into the world, you can look on social media, and you can see that strong opinions tend to matter, and they tend to magnetize people to opposite ends of the spectrum. I would invite you to understand that wonder, it sounds so light and fluffy and like inconsequential perhaps, but it's not. Wonder to me is what some people consider the first and only science of philosophy. I wonder why, I wonder how, I wonder who. And it is the foundation of all science. I mean, why would we have science if there wasn't wonder? Certainty is something that we all tend to crave, it feels like, or many of us tend to crave. I want to be certain that this is the right thing to do. I want to be certain that this is how I am going to achieve my health. I want to be certain. But to me, the only certainty that I want to cling to in this life is the idea of love being the energizing force in this world, and that love comes through me as a messenger and an actor of the divine. We have so much to learn, but I don't believe it's in the complexity of memorizing facts and figures and to be honest, listening to the news and memorizing what is told to us through the news. I believe that our opportunity is to move into our childlike heart and to wonder what is true for us now. I mean, there was a man by the name, well, he's still alive. His name is Dr. Bruce Lipton, and he wrote the book, The Biology of Belief. And he says that by the time we're 7, that we have pretty much written all of our subconscious text that we are going to live from in this life. It will have been written through the culture that comes to you. It will have been written through the interaction of your parents. It will have been written through maybe a moment when your parent came up to you and looked you in the eye and told you something with great vehemence. It goes into this because children live in a theta brainwave pattern, which is basically hypnosis. So it goes into that and it goes, oh, that is what is wrong with me. That is what is right with me. That is what I should believe in order to live in this world the way I'm supposed to live in this world. Those are the patterns that are so formed at a time when most of us don't remember a lot of 0 through 7. He even makes the case that some of our learning comes in utero. So those are some of the beliefs that I might invite you to explore. What are the beliefs you have around authority? What are the beliefs you have around money? What are the beliefs you have around relationship? What are the beliefs you have around your strength or your lack of strength? That's something that I mean, this is something that I've been working on, I feel, my whole life. The invitation came to me through pain of living in the life that I was living. But then I came to realize that the pain was coming through the beliefs that have been given to me about the life I was living. And the more I can wonder about those and free myself from those, the more wonder comes to me. And who doesn't want to live in wonder, right? Actually, I was just talking to Carol earlier this week. I think it was just Friday, and I thought it was just brilliant. We were talking about maybe watching a little less news, or or taking it in with a sense of wonder. I wonder if it's true. I wonder what I can do on behalf of that person who's suffering, those kinds of things. But, and I said, I used to work in news, and I sincerely watch it almost not at all in the 20 years since I've left. And Carol was saying that she watches Sesame Street. It just made me so happy. Watch something that fills you with wonder and reminds you of the beauty and the love that can be present in our world. Fill yourself up with those kinds of things. Sesame Street is great. I've also been making the case lately that grown-ups should read more children's books, because if you remember about children's books, they're clear, they're concise, they tell a story that brings you to a point where you think like, oh, this is a better way to be in the world. The stories are about sharing. The stories are about love. The stories are about I thought I watch a lot of Daniel Tiger because I have 4 grandchildren, and the one that comes to mind now, they always have little songs that they drive points home with, and the one that kind of speaks to this time is, "It's okay to be angry. It's not okay to hurt someone." I mean, what a profound statement that I believe we are called on to remind ourselves of, because I don't think there's anything more important than remembering that you are made via love. Your impulses have the opportunity to come from love. You are an aspect of the divine that's just asking to be expressed. And it's not as much fun to express from the idea, some habitual idea that has been taught to you and given to you like a heavy and uncomfortable overcoat, and a lot of what we have been told to believe in this culture sits like that on my shoulders. So wonder to me is what removes that from me. I was going, this one, I was going to say, I did make a note. I wonder how something new gets born surrounded by old beliefs. And a couple of things come to mind. Of course, the butterfly, because it's the most beautiful metaphor for this life. How does something get born through surrounded by old beliefs? I mean, what beliefs did the caterpillar have about itself as it was, lumbering along the milkweed, trying to just, was it just, I'm hungry? Was it like, this is my life? It's going to be this place of drudgery and trying to find a food source and oh my God. And then when it just surrendered, and by that, I don't mean giving up. It feels to me like surrendering is more like leaning back and floating and allowing something to happen. And it just listened to the impulse of wonder, and it allowed itself to become this glorious cocoon. And then inside that cocoon, there's this mush. It turns to mush. That caterpillar, if it had a thought form, it must have thought, I am dead, my world is ending, what is going on? And in some ways, it feels like the world that we're living in right now. But inside that muck, inside that gelatinous, almost nothingness inside that cocoon, there are little cells that they call imaginal cells. And those imaginal cells broadcast. They are broadcasting an impulse. They are broadcasting a frequency. They are broadcasting something to the rest of that darkness and that what looks like sludge. And it's asking them to be something that they haven't been before. So the imaginal cells broadcast the impulse to become color and lightness and antennas and wings. I mean, if that doesn't cause you to wonder, I don't know what would. It's a brilliant analogy, I think, for what we're going through now. And we are, I think, asked to be the imaginal selves. We're asked to be the people who broadcast something different, who broadcast, even as the world feels it's in chaos and as the structure seems to be dissolving or angrily holding on to what it has been. I think we're the wanderers. We're the imaginal cells who are asking for something greater that speaks to our diversity and how wonderful we are in our diversity, but how it makes sense when we're in unity. That's how nature works. Diversity in unity. So let's wonder about how we can love one another a little bit more, even if that person is different. I was also thinking when we was talking about how something new gets born surrounded by old beliefs. I was thinking about transportation and how early in last century there was a new technology that was being born, and it was the car. And I know at that time there was a lot of anger and, it's like, why would I, do this newfangled thing? And why would I, and you can make the case that it wasn't necessarily a step forward for the environment. I get that. But quite often people want to hold on to the whole old because even if it's painful, it's familiar. So I started to imagine like what it would be. It would be if you want to hold on to the old as you're moving into the new, it's kind of like having a Tesla automobile, only the best incarnation you can imagine of a Tesla automobile pulled by a horse. There are some times you just have to let go and let God and wonder into the world what's possible. And so that's my invitation to you this morning. I think I probably harangued you enough. So I want to just read this quote that to me, it just is so inspiring to me because it speaks to the power of the individual and it speaks to the knowingness that you have purpose in here, in this world right now. And it may come from offering intentions. It may come from offering prayers. My guess is it will come from your radiance. I think we tend to be a culture that wants to do more, act more. And I don't know that communication is always so well received when people are telling you to do stuff or asking you only to act. To me, the language of nature is quite often radiance. And so I think sometimes our power comes from the softest of radiance. It's inhabiting those ideas you know to be true, the ideas of love, the ideas of grace, the idea of forgiveness, the idea of peace and joy. We talk about them. We know that they're true, but the step toward embodying them, really asking to choose that moment after moment, day after day, week after week, and radiating that out to the culture is a place I've come to where it feels like that is powerful, radiating a higher vision of yourself out to the world that we live in. So this is a quote from Chief Arvel Looking Horse. My understanding is he is alive. This is a recent quote, and I so love it. He says, "Each of us is put here in this time and this place to personally decide the future of humankind. Did you think you were put here for something less?" Ooh. I mean, to me, it's just like, it's like you've gotten your assignment. You get to decide what you believe is important. You want people to be kinder? Be kinder. You want people to be less angry and divisive? Look for places in your life and the way you radiate that might be offering anger and divisiveness to the world. Even if it's just like being angry at a TV show or angry at somebody's political opinion. Look for those places. If you want the world to be kind, be kinder. If you want the world to be less angry, be less angry. If you want the world to come together, find ways to come together with diversity. So, did you think you were put here for something less? I thought that was so beautiful. Anyway, I would love to see what happens. I will lead you in a little meditation. I'm not much for leading, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be playing with your child, your inner child, your previous child, if you want to. And to that, because of that, I brought you this, just to remind you of what it feels to be like your self-image as a child. This is my 3-year-old granddaughter's self-portrait. So it looks a lot like energy, doesn't it? And a swirling and not quite formed, and open spaces for things to come in for you to believe. So maybe just kind of keep that in mind. And I'm going to just close my camera for the moment and just come with me if you want to. If everybody can take a deep breath, bringing in the most beautiful, crystalline, white, multi-faceted light in through your crown. And let it flow and drip and infuse every cell of your body. And when it finds its way down to your feet, let it continue on to embrace the mother, the one whose most generous spirit rarely says no to us. It offers us our homes and our food and our breath. And let it travel down like tree roots, the most beautiful, crystalline, vibrantly white tree roots into the center of our most beautiful home. And let that breath bounce right back up to you and into your heart. And take another deep breath. And let that light from your heart and from source and from the earth mingle and mix and radiate out from you on all sides. Let it fill as much space as you want to imagine. I wonder how much space you can fill. And when you move into your heart, I'm going to ask you to find an old-fashioned television in there. Maybe the kind you used to watch back in the 50s or 60s, or whenever your childhood might have been. And if you didn't have a television, just imagine it. And there's a cartoon on that television, and the main character is you. So imagine that beautiful, colorful, can be drawn any way you want to, little human dancing through life, having adventures, being in wonder. And if you can imagine for me a time, the first time that comes to mind, that you can remember feeling wonder or awe in this lifetime as a child. The first thing that comes to mind. The first thing that comes to my mind is watching my hand in front of my face, wondering, what is that thing? What could it do? It might be wonder at stars, it might be wonder at people, it might be wonder at grass, dandelions, music. And sip in that wonder from where you are right now. I would love for you to assign that wonder a color. A color that feels like wonder to you, not anyone else. And then let that color become more of a mist that blends with the air that you are breathing. And invite that color to infuse you. Let it become an aspect of you, that beautiful, wondrous color as you walk in this world. And I would invite you to not let that become a belief. Don't let a belief form around that is the only color for wonder for me or for anyone else. You have a rainbow of wonder at your disposal, and you are quite capable of infusing yourself with any color of wonder you wish to have. Your light is necessary for this world. Your vision is necessary for this world. Your imagination is necessary for this world. Your energy, your radiance is necessary for the new world that we are building on a foundation of wonder. You can start to wiggle your toes or wiggle your fingers or open your eyes. And I invite you to carry that wonder with you. Of course, it's your decision, but if you want to go to the field beyond right and wrong, I will meet you there. Thank you for letting me be with you today. You were wonderful. I love you, and I thank you for letting me play with you today.
Joan, thank you so much for your heart. Your beautiful message just touched all of us. It was so profound. I thank you so much.
No, you're so welcome.
I'd like to ask people to unmute if you would like to ask any questions or expand and say anything. Feel free right now. I would love that.
So much struck me, so much, but I think what I hold as an idea is wandering into wonder. Thank you, Joan.
Yes, I've been playing. I actually have a website that I've purchased, and I haven't put anything on it yet, called wonderground.love. And one of the things I was thinking about as a cut line was, all who wonder are not lost. Because, you know, that line, all who wander are not lost, I think that's our nature, to wander and wonder. So thank you. I love you.
Thank you. I love you back.
You're back. Somebody say that too.
Yeah, right.
You love you back.
Thank you. I remember talking to you in September of 2019.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Joan. Those are great concepts that I've been thinking about too. And I really think you touched on one of the challenges for this year is to be understanding how to open ourselves to the changes that are coming for the best of everyone.
Yeah.
In the midst of all this strife and controversy.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's great to ponder those things. Thank you.
Yeah, and don't be so quick to form an opinion. I mean, I don't want to tell you what to do, but I invite you not to be so quick to form an opinion. Sometimes you wonder where that opinion comes from so quickly, and you can usually go back to what you've been taught, the belief that you've codified into your.
And it seems like there's always more answers coming every day, more information coming. So to close the door too soon just kind of prevents the formation of those new ideas.
Exactly. And don't you feel like the energy is changing every day?
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day you wake up and go, I wonder where I'm living today. What color is the sky in my world, you know? And so to not be, to cling to an anchor in the bottom of the ocean when you're rising with the, with the water, it just doesn't make any sense to me. We've got new information and new energy coming in all the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the thought.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the new energy. Thank you for the new energy.
You are so welcome. I hope you're doing well.
We will, and you too as well. And I hope we see you again sometime soon.
Well, I'm coming to Duluth in the middle of May, so I'm excited to go up and visit my Duluth again.
Oh, great. Yeah.
I have a stone from from Lake Superior that sits on my desk all the time. It's something that gives me great comfort. I love that area.
Yes, yes. The lake and the forest and the trees and nature.
They have all the lessons that we need, right? We learn so much from that.
Yes, we do. But thank you for teaching us again, because we're learning too, and we get to learn with each other.
That's the only way, right?
Yeah.
Very, very lovely message, Joan. I really appreciate that. The wonder. I like that idea.
Yeah, it doesn't
I'm
sound
wonder a lot.
I'm so excited. Yay, thank you.
I was wondering if Carolyn Condrath had any picture for us today.
Yeah, I do. And I'm not going to say anything about it.
Uh,
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh.
nice, lovely.
Would you mind holding it up a little longer?
Yeah, yeah. I've been turning it around, so I don't know what direction you want.
oh, yeah.
There. Oh,
Oh,
oh, lovely.
that's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you certainly given us a lot of words to understand or feel or explore.
Yeah.
And it's fun to just be with the colors. And I loved your meditation with the colors, and it was just everything. A lot. You gave us such a wonderful play day. Thank you. Thank you.
Good, good. Well, it probably came from that beautiful little wonder pod that we're all living in right now, you know? It was just opening up my heart and hoping that wonder spilled out. So thank you.
It does. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There are a lot of things still in nature in spring, you know, in the dark. Yeah, they're still in the dark.
Yes.
And when this bee image and kind of struggling idea came through a tarot card that I was kind of copying, your talk, it just I like the light. You know, I'm just feeling you. People were saying how many new ideas are coming in every day and every day, but it seems like there's still a lot of light that we need.
Oh, yeah. And if we know that,
like the stuff underneath the leaves, they're saying, don't move your leaves in your mulch yet. Wait until we get at least 50 degrees, you know, for a couple of days so that the little critters underneath can eat those bugs and whatever. Anyway, it all kind of mulches in my head, you know, what you're saying about.
I love that though. That's so perfect though, because it's like that speaks to divine timing. It's like, yes, we're anxious for this new to be here and the new to arrive, but you can't force it to become. It has to follow its own impulse and listen to the radiance of what's around it, the sun, the warmth of the earth, and the, you know, so it's just every metaphor in nature just speaks to me, you know. It is divine timing. We can't force it, but we can radiate what we want and allow it to become in its own time.
All of this ties together. Our speaker a few weeks ago, my mind blanks out on names. Our friend in Arkansas.
Paula Keither.
Paula, where she talked beautifully about how God always gives us what we need when we need it. And there's no sense worrying about or trying to decide what that is or how it has to happen.
Yeah.
I am working with that as best I can. And your talk for me, and so I think of an ocean of God, that's God around everything, and we're all like a spark of the divine in that ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
And your talk tells me to wonder how God's going to give me what I need when I need it, and to stop worrying about that. That to approach it with wonder, which I kind of have that idea, but your talk helps me formulate that more. So thank you.
I've told my husband to when he worries, I tell him to like blow up a air mattress and lay down on it and just float along with the currents, you know. Don't feel like you need to decide where you're going right now. Just like enjoy the view for a while and the impulse will come to you.
Yeah.
I don't always take the advice myself, but hello, you know, I'm human.
I like that. Float with the universe. You're doing it.
You got an air mattress, use it.
Thank
Well,
you. Thank
it
you.
reminds me of our book group on Sunday night is reading Emmett Fox's The Sermon on the Mount, and it's a metaphysical interpretation of the Sermon on the Mount. And one of the Beatitude, the one that we ended with last week, was blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And he has a whole different definition of those words. And meek doesn't mean meekness and not wanting to do anything or being timid. It means letting go of your thoughts, opening your mind. And inherit the earth as we create, our thoughts are creating our reality, so to speak, and that when we can open our mind and just like you were talking about, get rid of our preconceived beliefs and thoughts that were born with or came from a past life or were given to us by our family or our community to let go of those and be open to, because what God has in mind for us, the God within us, is much more powerful than anything that we could think of ourselves or dream up ourselves. So just be open to that wonder that you were talking about today. It fits in so nice with what we're talking about in our book group.
I love serendipity. That's awesome. Yeah, if God is our seed, what are we, what are we going to add to it? Just nurturing and watering and allowing it to grow. Yeah. I love that. I'd love to read that. What was it? Emmett Fox?
Emmett Fox, the Sermon on the Mount.
Okay.
Oh,
there's the book.
Sue's holding it up. Yeah.
Could you read it to me?
Backwards, not.
Could you do an audio version for me?
No, it's straight on.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it.
The Sermon on the Mount of all possibilities, or the possibility of the universe.
Yeah.
Good one. I like that.
I love that. Thank you.
And love and light. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Joan,
Back to you.
if you're interested, our book club is at 6 o'clock tonight on Zoom if you want an invitation.
Well, you can certainly give me an invitation. I have 4 grandchildren coming over, and they may still be here at 6. Would you like a lot of activity in the background? No, I would love an invitation though, because who knows what's going to happen. I'd like to hear more about that book.
Yeah.
I have an extra copy of that book. If you'd like me to send it to you, I'd be happy to.
Oh,
I bought one because I couldn't find mine, and then I found it this week, and it's not marked up at all.
Really? Well, I would be honored. That would be, it would be awesome.
I'll just if Carol has your address, I'll just get your information from her later on today.
That's so kind. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can I pay you for it?
No,
No?
not at all.
Okay.
Has a tiny bit of, it's a little bit brown around the edges because it's an older copy, but there's no marking or anything in it. So
I like things that are brown around the edges. I like it's
so
like
I think when we get done with the Beatitudes, there'll be a whole nother section of the book. It'd be a good time to join. Well, you could join anytime, but
yeah,
anyway.
Sunday is usually our time for the whole family to get together and tear down everything in my house and play with it. So well, I'm not always available, but sometimes I am. So I pick you up on that.
Thank you for everything you're giving us and to share it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Joan.
You are so welcome. I miss you. Phyllis, I don't get to see you nearly enough, but you're always in, my mind, my heart.
The pandemic has gotten in the way.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is the first Zoom that I've ever done where it feels like family. I've done.
Oh, isn't that true?
Yeah, I've never spoken on Wonder before. Never, ever, ever to any group. So thank you for being my opening act to that. But I've done a few Zoom talks, and I've never felt a sense of cohesion and sharing and family and welcome. I just thank you so much. It just speaks to the power of energy. I don't have to be sitting in front of you.
True blessing.
Light, love, peace, joy. Yes. Thank you for that.
Zoom.
Any other comments this time? Okay. I would like to say thank you to everyone for your gifts to the church. And feel free to continue to send donations to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church at 1414 East 9th Street, 55805. And they're almost every day. I would like to read our church affirmation. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and directions of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful.
Yes.
Amen, everybody.
Amen.
Yes, so would you, Joan, would you like to do a little benediction? Otherwise, I can come up with one that we do. Do you have any? Just thought I'd throw it out. We didn't talk about this.
Yeah, no.
Let's see. Otherwise, I can do one.
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is, may you never wonder about your worth, your value, your contribution to the world. Maybe you only wonder how to nurture it and to let it radiate into the world. This week is your opportunity. I invite you to use it for the highest purposes. Much love. That's what
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Okay. Well,
Amen.
with
Thank
that,
you.
you like to talk some more? Or whatever you want to do, it's all fine with me. Otherwise, we'll just, say until next week, but.
Well,
Thank
nice
you,
to see
Carol.
everybody. I really appreciate coming
Good to
and
see you
seeing
too,
everybody.
Carly.
It brings me back home to Minnesota. So have
Good
a
to see
good
you.
one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hi all. Have a blessed
Bye.
week.
Bye.